Brian Kelsey, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling elated and forever grateful to President Trump for allowing me to be free again.
Did you know this pardon was coming?
I didn't, but God had provided many miracles along the way. And so I'm not surprised that God used President Trump to provide this last miracle. I'm elated to be out and back with my
Did
family.
Go ahead, sorry.
I'm just elated to be back and out with my family.
So you only served about 2 weeks. It looked pretty bleak. So up until the point that President Trump decided to pardon you, tell me about what was going through your mind when you got the news and how you got the news.
Well, I was actually on the prison yard doing exercises when the assistant warden called out my name, and it was unclear exactly why at first, but pretty quickly I asked, did God answer my prayers? Did President Trump come through with the pardon? And she said, yes, he did, and I was overjoyed. But God had provided many miracles along this journey. First and foremost, being when I was in the found myself in the same city and same place as my chief accuser and recorded him saying that I was innocent and had done nothing wrong, and that he had actually told the Biden DOJ that I was the poster child of a rule follower, but that they threatened him with prosecution if he didn't change his story to the grand jury.
Okay. So this whole time you've been innocent. My question to you is if you are innocent, why did you plead guilty in 2022?
Well, I got terrible legal advice that I would just get probation, and I was in a bad spot in my life. I had a father dying of cancer. I had 6-week-old twins, a little girl as well. We had a lot going on, a lot of stress. The main stress being that the Biden DOJ was weaponized against us, and we had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we're at our wits' end at that point. But that was the wrong decision. And just 5 days later, I told my lawyers, please get me out of this, withdraw this plea. And unfortunately, it took another attorney a couple of months to get it filed, but we did get it filed, tried to get it withdrawn, and then the judge chose not to honor it. But thankfully, President Trump came through and he did honor my innocence.
Some would say someone of your intellectual capability, you were a former lawmaker, uh, an attorney, and how could you not be sound of mind to make that kind of decision that would have a lasting impact
But
in
look, we're
terms of
all
pleading
human.
guilty?
Well, look, we're all human, and when you're under these kind of pressures from weaponized DOJ, it is tough. And you got a lawyer who's telling you, "Oh, go plead guilty, even though I know you're innocent, because you're just going to get probation." It seems like the right idea at the time, but it was wrong. And I'm glad that President Trump saw through that and saw that my star witness in my case even admitted that I was innocent.
Mhm. And there's a lot of uproar about this. I'm sure you've seen on social media, just because I think that guilty plea really, in people's minds, signifies that you did it and that this pardon shouldn't have happened because you are not, in fact, innocent. What would you say to that?
Well, the weaponized Biden DOJ's case has really unraveled in the last couple of years. Their star witness says that I was innocent and that he was threatened with being prosecuted, and that's why they kept feeding him with false statements that he read to the grand jury. And then also, you've got another witness who was recorded also saying that he didn't commit any sort of conspiracy with me, and that yet the prosecutors withheld that pivotal evidence. They also lost 2,700 documents, including exculpatory evidence in my trial, and this was just a hit job.
Mhm. And what would the reasoning be for that hit job?
Well, well, the real target in my case was they wanted to go after President Trump by hitting one of his biggest supporters, and that's Matt Schlapp and the American Conservative Union, which runs CPAC. And they threatened me the same way they had threatened this other witness who
Mhm.
recanted his testimony. And they said, look, we'll cut you a deal if you just testify against the folks at ACU. But
Mhm.
I said, look, I didn't do anything wrong, nor did they.
Mhm. But why wasn't Matt Schlapp criminally charged then?
Because I didn't testify against him. I told the truth and said I didn't do anything wrong, nor did he.
Okay. Now, moving forward, what do you? I mean, this is just now you're pardoned. What's kind of the next move for you?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank the Lord for providing this miracle, and I want to thank President Donald J. Trump for coming through when we really needed him here. And I thoroughly, thoroughly appreciate and am grateful to President Trump in this instance. So we'll worry about tomorrow, but today is a day to hug on my wife and kids and to thank President Trump.
The U.S. District Attorney's Office, Middle District of Tennessee, obviously, they're not really commenting on this, but they really chase this down hard. They say they had hard evidence. So are you saying that the U.S. District Attorney's Office was influenced by the Biden administration?
There's no doubt that as soon as the Biden administration took office in February 2021, they immediately went after me and tried to use me to get to a Trump supporter and match slap at the ACU. But thankfully, President Trump came through with the pardon, and he took an unjust political hit job and he turned it into a just situation and outcome.
Got it. So I'm hearing that as a yes. They were a part of the Biden administration hit job, the U.S. District Attorney's Office of the Middle District of Tennessee.
This prosecution was run out of the election crimes branch out of DC, but there were bad actors all up and down the chain of command.
Okay. Anything else that you want to say about this? I mean, it's not every day that somebody gets pardoned.
I just want to express that I am forever grateful to President Trump for seeing through this weaponized hit job and for recognizing it for what it was. And he very, very quickly got me out of prison because the same thing had happened to him. So thank you, President Trump.
Thank you. Last question. Senator Gardenhire wrote a letter on your behalf. Were you aware of this? And a couple other lawmakers, were you aware of any of this while it was happening?
Mm-mm.
So it was just kind of like a surprise.
I'm sorry, are you talking about my pardon petition? Is that what you're asking about?
Correct.
Yeah. Several congressmen wrote letters for my pardon petition and from right here in Tennessee, and I am extremely grateful for their support in putting this in front of the president so that he could see immediately that I'm innocent and was deserving of a quick and swift pardon.
Were you aware that they were going to put this, do this letter for the pardon petition?
Yes, I submitted the pardon petition myself. I included their letters. Yes.
Fantastic. All right, that's it. Anything else?
That's all.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I guess I should just clarify that was I want to thank specifically Congressman Tim Burchett, Mark Green, Chuck Fleischman, and Andy Ogles, all four of whom contacted the president directly for me. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.